When I first started van life and huge overlanding projects, the most advanced piece of tech I used was a compass and a paper map. Fast forward to the 2020s and now there is a variety of nomad tech available to help us get the most out of van life. Whether that's overlanding and navigation tools, monitoring our resources so we can stay off-grid longer, finding the dream campsite, or connecting with other nomads, there is tech behind it all. So, in this van life mini-series, I'm inviting you to join me as we explore my tiny home island and discuss the hidden tech that makes van life possible. Before we get going, a quick disclaimer. We're going to be talking about tech and gadgets a little bit in this video, none of which is sponsored, and all of the opinions are my own. I'm sharing them with you because they've been extremely helpful for me and I'm hoping it will help you too. This video does have a sponsor, however, and that is Amaze. And Amaze wants to give one of you guys the chance to win a 4x4 Sprinter and $80,000. But more about that later. Alright Chico, you ready? Whilst we're on the move, the first category I want to talk to you about is overlanding and navigation. Obviously in Jersey, I don't really need any kind of navigation or GPS stuff because it's a tiny island and I lived here half my life, so I know exactly where to go for the most part. However, I have noticed something that I've never seen before on the map, and we're headed there right now. I think it may be a great location to work for the day, and there may be a sneaky little adventure and a place for us to discover together. So let's go check that out. We actually have a variety of overlanding and navigation apps, and we will get into them in other episodes, but this time I want to talk about Maps.me because it's one we've been using probably the longest. We like it because it easily allows us to download offline maps, which is absolutely essential when you're roaming off-grid and potentially out of cell service. But the real benefit of Maps.me is that it has an offline search facility, which is really key in emergency situations if we needed to contact the local police or find the nearest hospital. It also allows us to find 24-hour businesses, toilets, ATMs, and even Wi-Fi locations. Maps.me is a really good overlanding and navigation tool, so if you're still just relying on Google, consider downloading this one and giving it a go. Like I said, I don't really need navigation to find this spot, as it's one of my favourite locations in Jersey and I often come here to work from home in my van. More on this location in a minute. Incidentally, those of you who are working from home can take advantage of mobile internet to actually work off-grid from your van, which means you have a much better view from your mobile office and you can really maximise your break times by exploring and even score daily adventures before and after work too. Hashtag work-life balance. So this location is called La Corbière and it's one of the most photographed locations on the island of Jersey. It's also one of my personal favourites. It's just such a majestic location and it's always different every time you come here because of the Jersey tidal range. Right now the tide is pretty far out and you can actually walk to the lighthouse, but sometimes the waves crash so high that they go over the height of the actual lighthouse. Corbière Lighthouse fact, that was built in 1874 and it was the first lighthouse in the British Islands to be constructed of concrete. Now you will sleep better at night. Another fun fact, this is actually on our money. We have the pound in Jersey like they do in the UK, but we have our own versions of the pound, so we have like Jersey money and it's on our 20p piece. Whilst we're on fun facts, inside a British banknote you will see a watermark of the Queen's head. She's so pretty. Inside a Jersey banknote, here's a Jersey £1 note, you will see a Jersey cow head, and also the Queen. We love the Queen too, and she is our Queen, and we love our cows. When I built this van, I knew that I'd be working a lot in it. I intended to work full-time off-grid and be able to just make this my office. In order to do that, I had to build a really good battery system. It's an investment, it wasn't cheap, but it does allow me to just go anywhere and live without any worries about having our batteries run out, and that was a serious limiting factor, and I wasn't able to work full-time previously. Now I have the Battleborn batteries, the lithium ion technology, It's an absolute game changer. I can't recommend it highly enough. There's a huge sale on Battleborn batteries right now, so if you're thinking on upgrading to lithium, I will link them below. Today I will be recharging those batteries from the beautiful solar rays that are coming in. Monitoring how much power I have in the van is extremely important. I have a battery shunt and I use the Victron Energy app to allow me to be able to Bluetooth connect to that and see exactly what the state of charge is of my battery system. Right now I'm at 100%. It's really useful to be able to see this, and it's definitely a worthwhile investment. The app's free, but the technology that it connects to is not free. But I will link those devices below, and if you want to know how to build an off-grid camper, I also have a guide for that to tell you how to do it. It also shows me historical information, like the last time it was charged, what the maximum discharge we've had, which is 333 amps. I can also, using the same app, connect into the solar system, so that will tell me what the current status of my solar is. I'm currently getting 138 watts. It's a really useful piece of kit. We can set up alarms and things like that if we're getting to a low voltage, and configure the entire system via this app. That's how we monitor our resources for the van life in terms of battery. But also there is actually another app we use when we're camped up to get the most out of our solar systems. But in order to explain that, I actually need to take you to Italy. So come with me. This time of year, it's October. The sun is starting to be lower in the sky. We still have enough solar to be able to live and work off grid, but we do have to start paying a bit more attention to where the sun is and how we're kind of taking care of our solar panels. In the summer, we don't even have to think about it. So we keep them clean, and we also make sure we're parked in the sun, and that's where this app comes in handy. This is actually a photography app primarily. I use it to track where the sun is, and I use that for like time lapses and things like that. But it's also useful for knowing where to park. Today we're going to be working off-grid in this location all day, so we need to be able to park somewhere. So I'm going to find out where the sun is going to be. The sun is currently there. By 2:30 that tree will come into play and block off our solar. So I'm going to move it so I can know I've got good sun now, and I've got sun until at least 5:30, at which point the sun will be so low in the sky it won't even matter. Probably going to tilt the panels today as well, just to squeeze everything out of it. This one's called Sun Surveyor Lite, another free app. Pretty useful for photography and for solar panels. Obviously tilting panels and shade isn't an issue for me in this location. I've got plenty of sun today. Thankfully, spring is coming. One of the reasons I chose this location today was not just for the sun, it's also because there's a cheeky little adventure of a place I've never seen. It's so close to my house and I've never seen it, so we're going to go and try and find that. One of the apps I have in my outdoors and recreational app section is called Magic Seaweed. Now I use this one primarily for surf, to check the surf conditions, but it's really accurate and good on detailed wind forecast and also tides. And today there is no surf to speak of, it's extremely flat. However, this island has one of the largest tidal ranges in the entire world, so that means that the island gets significantly bigger when it's low tide, and that means that new opportunities to explore is all around us. And it looks like there might be a cave that we can go and see. Low tide was about an hour ago, almost an hour ago, which means we've got about an hour probably of decent low tide and access to this cave. So let's go and see what it looks like. I've never been there. I'm really excited to see this. The tide's already coming up here and we're going to have to be quick. This is actually one of the most dangerous areas on the island. It's extremely rough around here. There's a lot of rocks and it's the site of many catastrophes at sea. There's a lot of shipwrecks out there. These hands behind me signify a rescue that happened with a passenger ferry. I think 307 people. They were all rescued in '95, but the ship basically got stuck on the rocks out there, and could have been much worse. A lot of people have lost their lives out on these rocks, including a lighthouse assistant who tried to rescue a stranded tourist, lost his life unfortunately. So if we're going to see this cave, we better hurry up, come on. First, let me just quickly explain that these ugly concrete buildings are actually bunkers left over from when Jersey was occupied by the Germans during the Second World War. There are literally so many bunkers here in Jersey, all around the coastline. A lot of them in still really good condition, even all these years after World War II. Makes for a fascinating place to explore. That up there is an old German range finding station, tower, I guess. After the war it was converted into a weather station, or a communications tower I think actually. And now it's an Airbnb, or basically Jersey Heritage have converted it into self-catering apartments, so you can actually rent that out and have this amazing view. I would love to do that. A little bit lost. I think it's down there somewhere. There's a beach I didn't know existed. Look at that water. Whew. It's amazing. I've spent a good deal of my life in Jersey and I have explored most of the trails. Believe me, I love exploring. I love discovering new places, but this is actually one that I've never been on before, and it astonishes me that on this tiny island there can still be new places to discover. Or as my mum said 5 years earlier,
you can live on a small island, 9 by 5, and still have things to discover after 50, 60 years.
You're not that old, are you, Mum?
Wow.
Thanks, Mum. Alright, show off. You've got 4 legs. Whoa! Being an islander on an island with a huge tidal range, it's drummed into us since we're literally this big how important it is to observe black marks on the rocks, to see where the water mark is, so you know how high the tide is coming. So from here it looks like the water comes up to about at least a metre above my head. It's definitely coming in at a rapid pace right now, but we might just have a few minutes to safely explore this cave. It looks like it goes in quite a way. Let's have a look. Want some help? No. You don't need any help, do you? You're faster than me. Oh, the style. This is unreal. Oh, it's so deep. It goes way back there. That was epic. Right? Totally epic. Now, there is one other security-based app which I wanted to talk to you about. It's something that I've been wanting to get for the van but haven't yet got. The idea would be that I would be able to check in with a camera inside the Kombi and also have some motion detectors and possibly a door entry kind of sensor. And if anything happened, like somebody opened a door, smashed a window, I would be notified via an app on my phone. The tech that I'm looking at is called Simply Safe. It's a home-based solution, but I know people that use it in a van. No ongoing contracts or anything like that. You can have cameras as many as you need, both inside and outside. It's compatible with Alexa, and also the door entry things are really easy to install, and they operate via battery and they're all wireless, so you don't have to wire anything in, which is really nice. And the batteries last like pretty much a decade, so you hardly ever have to change them either. I think that's really cool. They have motion sensors. They even have smoke detectors, temperature sensors, so you can know, for example, if your vehicle is parked outside and it gets really cold and there's a danger of your water pipes cracking, then the system will let you know that you need to go do something about that. They even have leak sensors. There's a lot of tech that can go into security of the vehicle. I'm pretty keen. I'll link them down below. You can go check it out if you want to. Some friends have recommended it to me. They have it in their van and they think it's awesome. I'm planning on sharing more of the tech that we've been using to make our van life possible, and showing you a little bit more about Jersey, because I can't wait to show you the rest of this island. If you're interested, stay tuned, subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. It really would help us out. Thanks very much, and until next time, happy travels.